and I want to make it abundantly clear to anyone who's watching this. I'm not trying to influence anyone how to vote. I'm not trying to tell them how to vote. I'm not trying to shame or guilt anyone for their views or their beliefs. At the end of the day, what I want to do is talk about how different governments have affected us as union members and the building trades, the pros that we've had, some of the benefits, and some of the absolute kicks in the teeth that we've had under which governments. You and I could have very different political beliefs, and I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I really don't. But
Yeah.
I think it's good for people to know the history on what has happened and for them to decide what they think is the best for their personal beliefs, whether that be for their family or work related. Because at the end of the day, you're going to vote for what you want to vote for or what you believe in.
Politics is dirty. Politics, you cannot say that one party has been all pro or all con on union. You cannot say that policies from every NDP or Liberal or Conservative policy has helped us. And you can't say they've all hurt us. We'll only go back as far as Stephen Harper. One thing that people like to do is tie when people were into construction cycles, which don't go together. Unfortunately, we can say that they do, but they don't. We have had a lot of boom and bust cycles in Alberta under one Conservative government the entire time. So it's not the government of the day. It's not the policies of the day. And the building trades will never tell someone who to vote for, nor will their unions. All we can do is give the questions that you should be asking of your MLA or MP, depending if it's provincial or federal, on what's best for you as a worker. Under Harper, Bill 377 was introduced. Bill 377 was an attack on private unions. It was meant to be an attack on public unions, but it painted us all with the same brush. And it would have been the end of a lot of unions in the country because it was so invasive and intrusive and right to work-ish that it would have been a disaster.
What is right to work? I'm seeing that a lot, especially with everything that's going on with Pierre and Mark Carney.
Yeah.
What is right to work?
Right to work was adopted in the States to break unions, and it says that all workers have the right to the benefit that the union provides, and they don't have to pay union dues. You don't have to become a member, get sworn in, follow the path, but the union still has to dispatch you out to work, and it's the death of unions. That's right to work. That's not what Bill 377 was, but it had elements. Bill 377 said, if Local 1325 wants to put a furnace on their roof and buy a JLG through their training plan for the hall, that has to be made public. Your finances have to be made available to the public.
Isn't that already public information for the members, though?
It's not public, but it is for the members. So membership has its benefits. There's an old commercial from the 70s before you were born that said, if you're a member of American Express, you get the benefits of being an American Express member, just like being a union. You were at your union meeting last night, and they read out the finances of the local. Our members are well aware. The argument that some people make is that not everybody can come to a union meeting, and so who's voting on these things? Everybody has the option to come to that union meeting, and I get geography or kids that need babysitting get in the way of that, but it's the most democratic system for labor that is existing out there, wherein at any point you can walk into your local and say, I would like to see, how much money do we have? I'd like to see the finances. You can't walk in and see it immediately, but you can make that appointment. The finances are made available monthly, and decisions on where money is spent are inside the bylaws. There's a certain amount of things that the financial secretary treasurer can approve for spending through the executive board. Or if there's something extraordinary or a request has been made for a charity, it goes on the floor to the e-board. The e-board deems it okay, then it will go onto the floor of the membership so that they can vote. So we're very democratic, but Bill 377 was to attack that. That bill was put forward in part by Pierre Poilievre, but subsequently he was over at 488 with us last year, and he has seen the error in his ways. He has told us that stuff like that will not happen again. Unfortunately, under their platform in 2023, right to work is still in there. They still believe that workers should be able to come and be a union 488 member, or they shouldn't be compelled to be a 488 member just to work for a 488 signatory company. And that is problematic for us. But I'm still not telling you how to vote. If you believe that Conservatives are going to bring more investment, but the key is to educate yourself and make the educated decision, not based on memes and propaganda and bullshit, but to look at the actual platforms the parties came out. And once you see those platforms, I have a good friend, Dale Kilpatrick, who said, that's pretty vague. That gives you their platform. That gives you an in to say, hey, my MP, wherever your jurisdiction is, which you can find online, can you explain what you mean by this policy on page 6, right to work? And that MP is obligated to tell you that. And if he doesn't make, or she doesn't make the time for you, then you can make your own judgment call on what that means. But I don't just want to hack on the Conservatives. Under the Liberal government, as of late, we have had an influx during COVID of Hispanic and South American people that came up to Canada under tourist visas who are now working on job sites with no work permits. They are being abused by the employer. They are actually hurting our employment for workers. So no one government is going to solve our problems as labor. Labor needs to come together to solve its own problems. We just think that of all the options you have in labor around the province, around the country, around the world, that sticking together in a place where a pension is put away for you, benefits are put away for you, your apprenticeship is supported, whether at a union training center or at SAIT or NAIT or wherever, that we just think that we can be the option that is best suited for labor. Your political views are your political views, but don't think that that's going to solve your problem. I don't think that the party of the day causes the problems that people think they do, and I don't think that they solve the problems or have the ability to solve the problems. We have 2 valid candidates running for positions. They're valid in different ways. One has a lot of political background, one has a lot of finance background. You notice I didn't see a lot of labor background for either of them, right? So choose your poison and what you think is going to be the right way, and we'll live it regardless of how it goes. The bigger message for us is we need your wages to be livable and better. You deserve more than just survival. You deserve to have middle class is what we've always pushed for. We're not trying to be the billionaires out there doing construction, putting up scaffolding. You're not going to be a billionaire.
I wish.
But you have the ability to start a company with that red seal and do what you have to do. We just think that that company, if it's union, can better promote apprenticeship, equality, and good wages.
Whether you like Danielle Smith or not, some people praise her and think she's the best thing that's happened to Alberta, or some people really don't. So when we talked last, you were saying a lot of other provinces under the Trudeau government, okay? And there's because it's really hard to find solid, concrete information about Justin Trudeau, the benefits, the pros that he's brought to the country, where it's really easy to find the cons. He's going on trips, he's doing this, he's living a lavish lifestyle. That seems to be the focus for a lot of things that I see. But last time we talked, you were saying that Trudeau and other provinces that were unionized provinces that have better union rights than Alberta have been thriving and doing very well. Is there can you give me some truth to that? Or
it's a little bit of a mix of provincial and federal, but yes, some notable things that have happened under this current Liberal government are the UTIP grants. So Paul Martin brought in UTIP, which is the Union Training Center benefits. Stephen Harper got rid of them. Trudeau re-implemented them. And this current Conservative government that's running has said that they support UTIP as well and they want to expand it.
Are you talking Pierre?
Yeah, Pierre and his people. We have a good friend of the building trades here, Kelly McCauley. We've been meeting with the Conservatives and they love UTIP. UTIP is a way that unions invest their portion of the money and the federal government helps us to get the proper equipment so that we keep our workers trained properly and then we deliver not-for-profit training to workers. The ITCs, the Canadian building trades, which we haven't talked about. We have a great leader in Sean Strickland.
ITC meaning like the International Training Center?
No, ITCs are investment tax credits.
Okay.
So investment tax credits are new, and the Canadian building trades under Sean Strickland has lobbied for this, so that if you're doing a project that is green, so it's a wide definition, a hydrogen plant, nuclear,
solar farms,
wind turbines. If you're doing green projects, you can get a massive tax credit for your project if you pay the building trades rate in that province. It's called the multi-employer rate of that province, which is the building trades rate because we have multi-employer unions. If you are paying the rate of the building trades in that province,
yes,
whether it's union, non-union, CLAC, if you are paying those rates and those benefit packages, you will get a tax credit. It's the federal government trying to make sure that the workers of that province on a green project, so they're trying to incentivize more green projects, will get the highest rate, which is always the building trades rate. That's what happened on green projects that are happening in Alberta right now. CLAC actually came up to our rates. And that's what CLAC workers should ask. If you can afford to pay it on that job site, why can't you pay it on all job sites? When the building trades sets the bar, why can't you match it if we're equal? If you're a union equal to them, but they don't. They're 12 to 13% underneath, which is a cost savings for employer, but it's directly on the backs of the workers. So we were talking about the Liberal government. The Liberal government put in these ITCs to incentivize paying workers more while at the same time getting green projects built. And they don't get a lot of credit for that, but those ITCs are huge. And we have asked the Conservative government under Pierre and what they're doing right now, if they're going to keep those, and they're taking it under advisement. They haven't said no, but it's a great way to elevate workers. Both parties say they're for workers. Those are federal programs. So like I was saying, labor laws are provincial. I'm quite confident in saying Alberta has some of the worst labor laws for unions in the country.
You're not the first person who has told me that.
No. Bill 32 and previous bills in the past that allowed double breasting. Provincial laws are what hurts Alberta the most. It is very hard to organize. CLAC can actually consolidate all of their workers together, and so that the pipe fitters can't go in and organize the pipe fitters on a CLAC site when it's rating time, because they have to get the whole job site to sign on all sites. That they've made it. The lawyers that have gotten in there that are anti-labor lawyers have really made the labor laws that have been put on the table and passed a challenge for unions.
What other things has the Liberal government done in the time they've been in power that has helped unions or benefited us in some capacity?
Last thing that I will talk about on this is the ability for workers to get tax deductions for travel and for tools. So there has been some good movement in, if you are traveling out to Nova Scotia to work, there is, I think it's up to $5,000 you can write off. $4,000.
I think it was the Canadian Building Trades that shared that post.
We lobbied for that, and Conservatives and Liberals got behind that. So that has been implemented under the Liberals as well. I've got to be honest, and I'm not trying to sway people's votes. Under the Conservative government, we were pretty much under attack federally up until 2015. It was a challenge to be union in the country in that period of time. Historically, unions, because of our social nature and what we do for the benefit of the people, it has been a left-wing thing. Historically, people look at us and think, oh, we'll just vote NDP blindly. We are encouraging strategic voting right now. We are encouraging that people understand who their MP is and who's going to be best for them in their area. Again, the building trades does not throw their name behind one person or another once it comes to elections. We don't have that right. We are an organization that represents members, and our members are everywhere on the spectrum, from the left to the right. What we're trying to do is put out proper information so that people can read it, make their own judgments. The key is, and nobody does this, talk to your elected official. They answer to you. Your MP in your area can be found online. Your MLA in your area can be found online. I hope you know your city councillors. A lot of people don't. They go to work. I know you don't like politics. You wouldn't know your MP if he slapped you in the face.
No.
And fair enough. That's fine. You're young. As we get older, we start to see kind of how our path is directed a little bit more by them. The caveat to all of this is, if you want to get involved and do that, fine. You'll probably end up on your MLA or your MP's board in your area if you start to get involved. And we have union people that do that, and that's fine. The key is that we're not trying to tell you how to vote. We're not trying to say you have to get involved. We're just saying the memes and the rhetoric and my team versus your team is not good for Canada.
Just take it upon yourself to be informed, educate yourself, and don't believe what you see on Facebook or Instagram, TikTok.
Yeah.
Go to their platform, go through what they are presenting on their table, and make an educated and informed decision based on the information that is readily available to the public.
And then save that post, that picture, and hold them up against it and measure them. It really does set the path for society. And as young people coming up, people will get involved with that. We want to make sure that they're the right people getting involved. But spend a little time. measure. Realize that those platforms are just what they're trying to do to get elected. Once they put that out and they don't follow it, then you can hold it up to them and say, why? You said you were going to do this. I changed my vote from the way my parents voted because you said this and you didn't live up to it. We just let them get away with murder if we don't do that, if we don't hold them up. And, you know, you'll see building trades posts where we're in Ottawa and we're sitting with Jagmeet or Pierre or Justin at the time, and now it'll be Mark Carney. We want to hear their stories. We want to see how it molds us. We want to pressure them into doing what's best for workers. That's our goal. Pressure whoever is in power into doing what's right for workers. You have a lot more stroke if you have market share. CLAC has a lot more sway with the current provincial government in Alberta than the building trades do. We're working with them, but we don't have that because of market share. Market share, market share, market share. If we can bring workers together under one umbrella and speak with one voice, and I'm not talking about nurses, teachers, they already do that. Construction workers are divided. If we all came together and said, look, we need pensions. Not just the people lucky enough to be in the building trades unions. Everybody needs a pension because you're $2,100 a month. If I get the maximum CPP because I worked at a great job like me and you, making over $70,000 for 10 years, we get the max CPP. If you don't, you get less than that. If you take it at 60, you get way less than that. If you can make it to 65, because your pension will supplement you to then, you go from 838 to 14 something, right, by not taking it. So workers should be able to have a pension that they can take at an early enough age, because construction wrecks your body. I listen to you crack your neck and your shoulders. Construction beats us down, and we need to have that ability at 55 or 60 to relax and have some life with our grandkids. The only way to have strong wages is coming back together. And so my main message, which I've said 100 times on here, is we need workers to come back together under one roof and fix it. And I'm not trying to break companies. Unions don't try and break companies. We are partners with our companies. I've met with more companies in the last 2 months than I have with union members because we are trying to see what would it take for you to go union again? What would it take for you to give us a shot? What would it take for us to do a pilot project where we give you some people and you try our members and see just how good our training is? See how good it is that you don't have to go to Indeed or Kijiji to find workers. We will use our dispatch system. There's so much benefit we can bring to these contractors that is intangible compared to other labor providers. We just want that opportunity. We want labor to come back together. We want to have a successful construction industry. Apprenticeship's broken. Wages are broken. Pension, health, and welfare needs to maintain. It's still going along, but it's under attack as well. Our goal is market share, and the reason for that market share is so that workers can do better.